Let's look at the service you'll complete every 500 service hours, also known as PM2 maintenance. Required service varies by machine, but here's what to expect for a Cat D6 XE dozer. Before you get started though, check your operation and maintenance manual for proper safety procedures and always wear appropriate personal protective equipment. First, move your machine to a dry, level surface. Let it coast to a stop, because this will help later when checking track tension. Put your machine in park, lower implements to the ground, and lock out the hydraulics. Walk around your machine to look for any leaks, rust, or other damage. For all maintenance, you can order everything you need at parts.cat.com. Enter your machine serial number to see which parts you need for your machine. This is also where you can find the self-service options for your equipment. SSOs provide detailed service instructions and recommended parts and tooling. Now, let's go through how to complete PM2 maintenance. First up, take your SOS services samples. Start the engine to take the engine, hydraulic, and transmission samples. They all need to be taken while the engine is running and the compartments are at operating temperature. On the right side of the machine, take the oil samples for the engine, hydraulics, and transmission. Now you can turn off the engine and take the samples from both final drives. Next, shut off the D6 XE electrical system so you can safely inspect it. Check enclosures, cables, harnesses, and ground straps and cables. Replace missing hardware, clean off built-up debris, and make any necessary repairs. Next, you'll change the engine oil. Open the cover under the machine, open the plate and the belly pan, and drain the oil. While that's draining, head to the back of the machine and shut off the fuel valve. Drain any sediment from the fuel system into a suitable container for proper disposal. Now, find the fuel filters in the left side engine access door. Open the primary filter drain valve and capture fuel in a suitable container for proper disposal. Remove the primary filter and old seal and wipe off the base with a clean cloth. Coat the new filter seal with clean diesel, but never pre-fill your filters. Place the new O-ring and install the new primary element by hand. Repeat those same steps for the secondary elements. In the same compartment, wipe around the engine oil filler cap and oil level check, and remove the cap to clean it. Next, enter the cab to check the recirculating air filter. Remove the filter and replace it if it's dirty or damaged. Inspect the track shoes on both sides for loose bolts and other damage. Now you'll check the tension of the tracks using a string and measuring tape. Stretch the string over the grousers from the sprocket to the front idler. Measure at each of these dips you see in the track. Average the two measurements and check that value against your OMM. If the track is too tight, release grease through the relief valve. If the track is too loose, add multi-purpose grease to the adjustment valve. In the same panel, check the recoil spring oil level. Make sure the oil reaches the level gauge mark you see in the recoil spring housing. Now, to check final drive oil levels, you'll need to refill the engine oil. Once you do that, you can move your machine so that the oil level mark is horizontal. Remove the magnetic plug and wipe off any built-up deposits. Note that it can be normal to see some metal shavings on the plug, but always refer to your SOS services results to determine if there are wear issues. Check the plug seal and replace it if needed. And the level should be at the bottom of the filler plug opening, so add more if it's low. Repeat those steps, repositioning the machine as needed on the other final drive. Next, check pivot shaft oil on both sides of the track. The level should be at the bottom of the threaded hole, so add oil if needed. Now you'll replace the fresh air cabin filter if needed, which is on the back left side of the D6 XE cab. Unlock the clasps and pull the filter down, making sure there is no debris left in the housing. Install the new filter and fasten the clasps. Now, find your fuel fill, which is on the back left side of the D6 XE cab. Remove the cap and strainer, and wash the strainer and solvent. Moving on to the right side engine access compartment. Inspect the serpentine belt and replace it if it's damaged. Here, you can also change out your engine oil filter. Clean around the filter before removing it with a strap-type wrench. Wipe the housing and make sure the old seal is removed. Coat the new filter seal with new engine oil and reference the instructions to install the filter. Up here, check the ROPS FOPS bolts to make sure they're secure. and look for any signs of visual damage. If your machine is equipped with a winch, replace the oil and lubricate the roller and fair lead assembly. If you noted any damage or other issues, be sure to service your equipment and make sure all compartments, guards, and ladders are back in operating position. Turn the electrical system back on to complete your PM2 service. For more information and support, contact your CAT dealer and always check your operation and maintenance manual for specific instruction and safety procedures.